Hello, this is Pastor Roland. Welcome. Today I want to talk about old school and new school. There is a beautiful verse in the Bible in the Old Testament, prophet Jeremiah. God is speaking to his people through the prophet Jeremiah. And he says, stand in the ways and look for the old paths wherein are the good ways, and you will find rest for your souls. Look for the old paths wherein are the good ways, and you will find rest for your souls. Well, the old paths and the good ways, what does that mean? It means remembering who we are, who you are. See, you have forgotten who you really are. That may come as a surprise to you, but you have. Once upon a time when you were a little child, when you were close to God, you were very close. You knew who you were. You knew who you were, but now you have forgotten. You've become something else. See, we're all created in the image and likeness of God. And what does that mean? It means that God is like a person. I know God is a spirit. I know that. And God is everywhere. But he has a personality. He's not just some force, some, some force of some sort. He has a personality. He's a person. And so we are people. Okay? In fact, another proof for the existence of God is the fact that we play God. See, if you saw some little children somewhere and they were playing fireman, and one child was pretending to be a fireman, the other child was pretending to be a fireman, they were rescuing somebody or something. Well, you know that somehow those children found out about firemen, somehow, and you know there are real firemen somewhere. Well, we play God all the time, don't we? We go around and what do? We want people to admire us and worship us, to think well of us and respect us, and we become angry. We become outraged if someone doesn't respect us, don't we? Even though we're not respectable. The average person is not very respectable, especially nowadays. Okay? And what else do we do? Well, we go around and judge other people. See, God is both a king and a judge, so we go around and judge other people. We judge others. Look at her. Look at how she talks. Look at how she dresses. Look at her house. Look at him. Yes, we judge other people. And we judge them harshly. We judge our Father who failed us. And then we even add a pinch of hate. See, it's not bad enough that we judge other people. And we compare ourselves to them, see? That's another thing we do, so that we can look right in comparison to their wrong. In fact, some people are so wicked, so cleverly wicked, that they make others look wrong, so that they can look right by comparison and then try to rescue the person who they made wrong. See, some parents do that to their children. So we play God, but because we're just little bits of clay, and because we don't have grace or honor or sweetness or love, we become nasty. Egos is what we become. Very nasty or wicked. See? So we play God. But once upon a time when you were a little child, you didn't play God. You knew that God existed. But you were happy to live in God's great green earth. And you loved Mommy and you loved Daddy. And you loved your friends and you loved your stuffed animals. And it was a beautiful, joyous day full of adventures and discoveries. Okay? Butterflies and leaves and all the wonderful things that you discovered. But as time went by, um, you became angry at people, you began to hate people, you began to judge them. Yeah, your dad, you hated him for his acts of omission or commission. Your mom, for some reason, you resented your mom. Or, you were close to your mom, but she taught you to hate your dad, see. And you hated other kids who were bullies or who were smarter than you or prettier than you, see, or who teacher liked more than you, so you hated them, see. And you went out in the world, and then you got used and abused a little bit. See, you looked for love, and instead of finding love, you found use and abuse, and that became another reason to hate people. And then others taught you to hate. They taught you to hate this group or that group or this group or that group. See, very, very sad. So you became hateful, resentful, okay, and ambitious. You decided that you would show them, you would prove something to them, see? And so who knows what you did? Maybe you got a degree or two. You got knowledge, so you could lord it over them, see, and not get put down anymore. And so you compensated for what you lost. And what did you lose? You lost yourself. See, you lost a closeness to God. And you lost what you would have become had you remained close to what you knew in your heart and close to God. You lost that. You would have flowered from within. You would have become a Madame Curie or an Einstein or a Paul. Somebody very, very, very noble. But instead you became a twisted, hateful, sneaky thing. See? Trying to lord it over others and never wanting to admit you're wrong. Okay? So we play God then in that respect by being ambitious and wanting to compensate and prove something to others. And then we never want to admit we're wrong. So now another proof of God is that you have conflict with God. By playing God, you have conflict with Him. Okay? Now you still have, some of you still have a sense of conscience. Some of you only know it as anxiety. See, you're so far from it. See, if you were close to God, if you were closer to, like when you were a little child, you were closer to God then than you are now. You're closer then than you've ever again, for most people. Although some people yearn with all their heart for what they lost. They're able to for God to begin to draw them back to Him again. But when you were a little child, you had a conscience. If you did something like, say you hated your mom, you got angry at your mom, you're angry at somebody, and you said something mean, afterwards you felt bad. See, that was your conscience. That was your intuition from God. And it was saying to you in a quiet way, a gentle way, it was saying that you were wrong, and you felt bad, okay? But then, afterwards, see, then you didn't resent your mommy anymore, and then you felt okay again, see? But as the years went by, you hardened your heart, and you became more and more hateful and angry and sneaky and judgmental toward other people and phony. And then your conscience was there, showing you, trying to show you in a wordless way that you were becoming judgmental and phony, hateful, so on. But you didn't want to admit that you were wrong. So you hardened your heart and you puffed up. And you denied your conscience over and over again, over and over and over again. See? And sometimes people on the outside awakened you to your conscience. Sometimes people on the outside awakened you to your conscience. For example, a little child, maybe your child. Maybe you were impatient and busily and bossily rushing around and being mean. Your little child said, "Mommy, why are you being so mean?" And then what? You became hateful and angry and said, "Don't you say that to me. Don't you talk back to me." See? You became hateful because the little child, the innocent remark of the little child awakened you to your conscience within. So you not only did you hate your conscience for showing you that you're wrong, but you hated the little child for making you aware that you're wrong. Or when you're impatient, your little child has a question, "Mommy," and then another question, "Mommy." So instead of patiently answering the children's questions, you became impatient. See? And then the child cried and you became angry because the tears of the child was evidence on the outside of what your conscience was saying on the inside, that you're mean and you don't have love. All you have is judgment and impatience and selfishness, see? So, the longer we go denying conscience, the greater is our conflict. But then somebody comes to comfort you in your conflict, see? All manner of people, and even the devil himself in your mind. See? He gives you reasons and excuses and rationale to justify your hate. See? So one person hating another, one person judging another, and then you end up with a Holocaust, see? Wars, horrible things. Look into the average family. What do you have? Betrayals and violence and hatred and cruelty and meanness and, see, scapegoating and, see? Well, so look in the mirror and ask yourself, look at that creature that's staring at you in the back in the mirror. Ask yourself, is that who I really was meant to be? Okay? And the answer is no. So how do you get back to what you were meant to be? Well, you have to return to what you know in your heart. To what you know in your heart, the old paths, wherein is the good way. Okay? Wherein are the good ways. See, the way of sweetness, the way of kindness, the way of tenderheartedness, long patience and long suffering, and being willing to admit you're wrong. That's the main thing. That's what separates those people who get well permanently, who recover, who find salvation. It boils down to, are you willing to admit you're wrong? When your conscience wordlessly shows you that you're wrong, are you willing to bear the little bit of pain, admit that you're wrong and be sorry? Or do you harden your heart and deny it and rush off? See? So, that's what it boils down to. Will you admit you're wrong when your conscience wordlessly makes you aware that you're wrong? See? If you can admit it and bear the pain and not hate your conscience, not resent your conscience for showing you, see, then you are chastened and your soul is softened. And you might experience the most wonderful thing, the catharsis and the purging of repentance, where you see you're wrong and maybe you sob, you cry. Yeah, I was impatient with my child. Yeah, I messed my child up by meddling. I resented my husband. Yeah, I'm phony with people. See? A lot of things. When you see any of those, when you see it, see, are you willing to bear the truth and admit you're wrong? Well, if you do, if you bear that little bit of pain for a little short time, and just quietly sit there and helplessly admit that you're wrong and you can't make yourself right. See? Well, then you know what that is? That's reconciliation with conscience, reconciliation with intuition, reconciliation with the God of conscience, and the source of who you might have been. See? Your true self. See, growing in, with the approval and the grace of the Father. My name is Pastor Roland.